Welcome to Top 25 Mindtree interview questions and answers. This is powered by Liquid Web company. So here is the site of Liquid Web. They are providing a fully managed web hosting, and they got a lot of services here. So managed hosting, managed solutions, managed applications, everything they are providing services to their people. And apart from that, they got fully managed hostings and other stuff. Just watch this website, liquidweb.com. And if you're looking for to buy the things, like you can check the description for the URL and you can buy it. So my name is Venkat. I am a Microsoft Most Valuable Professional Award winner, and I'm a job consultant and a software trainer. I'm guiding the people towards the technology. So here is the first question. What is the difference between class and object? So class is nothing but a template, a blueprint. From that blueprint, we are able to generate an object. That's how your class object model will be. So here is the one. So I'm trying to show like how the class object model is there. So I got a car class. For that, I create an object. So car is the template. From that, I created an object that's Ford. Using the properties and methods, I created a car. The name is Ford. And over here is Toyota. So here is another object I've created from the car class. This is how it will be. So here is a sample program. I'm trying to show you it. Say I got a package. Here's the Java program. I got a class. The class name is a global variable. And over here, I got a variable value 10 as int variable, and you got a object. So for global variable, the object variable is given. I'm trying to call the function fun with the parameters value. Here is the one they call it as local variable, and this command will print the local variable. And the next one is like printing the global variable. That's how it will be. So this is how your local and global variable will work, and accessing the variables is done via the objects. Let's move on to the actual difference between class and object. Object is an instance, and here's the blueprint. It's a real world entity. It's a group of similar objects. It's a physical entity, and this is a logical entity. So here is the one. So you'll be using the class name, and here is the object name is equal to new class name. So class student is the one you will be calling it. So the keyword is class. So object can be created many times. Like here is an array of objects can be created from a class. So one class got arrays of objects. Okay, over here you will be declared once. Object allocates memory. It doesn't allocate any memory. There are many ways to create object in Java, such like new keywords, a new instance of method, clone, factory method, and deserialization. Over here, class is the keyword. To that you need to add the one. So you are able to see class student is the one to create. Now let's talk about what is JavaScript. What is JavaScript? It's nothing but a client-side validation code. So a client is there. If there is a valid request over here, the client is there, is the client browser or something like that. Okay, and the server is there. I'm giving my username and password. Is a valid request. It is passed through the client, the browser, to the network, and it will went to the server and it will respond. Considering I gave only the username, I didn't give the password. In that case, it's an invalid request. So automatically your JavaScript will be there, which is written in the client side itself, the browser side. Automatically it will respond to the client to resolve the issue to proceed further. So here is the simple example. I gave the password. You are able to see it here. You are able to see there is a red color indicates, say password is a required field. Password should be longer than. So the coding which is executing in the browser side and it's not going to the server, they called it as a client side coding. So here is the definition. It's a value used for validation. It's a client side scripting and everything it is given. Just check the definition. It's a dynamically script web pages on the client side. Now let's talk about the differences between the throw and throws. So this is an exception instance and responsibility of handling exception. Okay, these are two things. It's happening in the Java virtual machine. Let's see how it works. So I'm trying to write a simple code. I got a try loop. I got a catch loop. And if there is any exception happening, automatically I'm trying to catch it. So value, I'm trying to catch it here. So exception, I'm trying to catch it here. So that's the exception, I'm trying to catch it. While running it, you are able to see it's attempted to divide by 0 error. Okay, this is how your try catch exception will work. Okay, let's move on to a simple example with throw exception, how the throw works. If there is an exception, throw it away. Over here, there is a try loop, there is a catch loop. Good. So there is a B method and a C method. So B got, this is the method of B. I got here finding the exact exception types. So you are able to see there is a divide by 0, catching divided by 0 exception, exactly the exception that's happening in the B method. Okay, so now I'm trying to so after executing, the catch exception will work. For C method, I've given the value null. So it's a null exception. If there is any null or something like that, I want to throw an exception with the arguments or something which I want to throw it with this. I'm throwing it with something in me. So I'm trying to throw in, if there is a null values there, do this process with a parameter. Let's execute this process. I'll try to hide the C program, C method. Now only the B method is called. I'm running it. The B method is called, and to the next level, I'm going to the try loop. 1 divided by 0 is exception. It's a divide by 0 exception. I'm trying to throw it. It's going to the main loop. Yes, it is thrown as an exception. This is how your divide by 0 exception is happening. You're able to see the B is called and the exception is handling, and C, that is the next line, it's not called. Okay, now I'll make a comment on this first line and the second line. Now I'm going to uncomment this one, the C function. Now I'll run this program once again. So while checking out, you are able to see C of null is coming to the C function and it's trying to execute the null. Yes, it's null. It's throwing it once again. The exception is like not a null exception with the parameter Venkat value, which I gave now. Okay, you are able to see value cannot be null is the exception, argument null exception is there, and the parameter name is Venkat value. This is how you are able to throw the exception. While throwing the exception, I can specifically catch it and throw it. I can specifically catch it, add something and throw it. So that's how your throw exception will be working on. Here is the one to explain about the throws exception. Here you are able to see in Java programming, I'm trying to show it, throws IO exception. You see, execute this function and it may throws an IO exception. While creating the function itself, I'm declaring it here, throws IO exception. Okay, over here you're able to see public static void main. It's like I'm trying to add a library class file1, so I'm giving a main function. I'm writing a file, and if there is any error, catch it. That's an IO exception. Input offset. See, considering C drive, file.txt is there. File.txt is there, and I'm trying to write it in this file. If I couldn't write it, throw an exception that the file is not available. So this is a normal program. Over here, the same main function, so I'm executing it without using this try catch and all. I'm putting throws IO exception. Hey, run this function, it may throws an IO exception. So over here, I'm able to see like a throws exception is there. This is how the throw exception is like catch it and throw it. So running it, it may have an exception, use it. Okay, that's how the difference between the throw and throws. Here is the one, throw an exception explicitly. Declare one or more exceptions. Single exception, multiple exceptions. Throw keyword is used within the method. It is used with the method signature. Okay, over here it's followed by the instance variable, is followed by the exception class member. Unchecked exception or it is checked exception. Let's talk about an interface. What is an interface? Interface is nothing but a template. So using this template, create an object and use it, or use those members to do something. So do we have any methods or any declaration of members? No, it's a blind method without any definition or something like that. Declare it and use it. That's called interface. So person, remote is an interface between the LED TV and the person. Let's see how it works. Here is a simple piece of code I've written. So I'm including the library. Over here, interface shape X. String base is equal to shape 1. I got a shape Y extends shape X. So this is inheriting. So this guy is a child class of this guy, interface of child interface of this guy. I'm having string base. So base is shape 1 here, shape 2 here. Draw method, draw 2 method is here. Now I got a class shape G, which implements shape Y. Okay, so over here it extends, here implements. So these are all interfaces extending, and this is a class which is implementing this interface. I got another base variable shape 3. Over here I got shape, base is equal to shape 2, base is equal to shape 1, base is equal to shape 3. I'm trying to draw a function, drawing the circle here with a base. The base will call this one the local variable. I'm trying to have draw 2 method which is overriding the base. Let's see like how it works. Now I'm trying to create a class, an object for this shape G class. And calling the method draw method, yes, it will call this method. And once again I am trying to call this method. I'll change the code to call this method also. Let's see like how it works. Let's move on to the program. So I got the libraries here, I got the interface with a base is equal to shape1. Now draw method is here, shape y extends shape x, so it's kind of a child interface. Draw2 is there with the base. I got second interface. Now I'm going to the class which implementing the shape y. Okay, so I'm declaring the variable base is equal to shape3. Okay, so now I got my draw method and there is a draw2 method. Okay, so draw method and a draw, so I'm trying to print the shape of this guy base and draw2 method. Let's see like how it works. Okay, now I'm declaring a class. I got the class interface. I'm declaring like I'm trying to create an object for shape is it. Okay, and a circle shape is the object dot draw. Okay, so this method is called. Okay, so now I'm trying to, so this shape is it, right? Yes, it's good. Okay, now I'm trying to call, so this method should be called, and now I'm trying to call the draw. Instead of draw, maybe like I'll make it as draw2. That's better. It's draw2, sorry. Draw2, I'm trying to execute the program. You are able to see that draw and draw2 method is called. So over here, you're able to see it's called. The interface, they didn't use these interfaces, but they use the template of the interface to access it. That's how your methods will be. So this is how the interface are. Now let's talk about the interface. It's a reference type in Java. It doesn't have any definitions. Only it will have the declaration. They will have the declaration. And this variable is declared, it won't be used in this interface. If you want to use it, use these classes. In a class, you are able to use it. So it is similar to class, collection of abstract methods. A class implements an interface. It got constants, default methods, static methods, and nested types. Okay, method bodies exist only for default methods and static methods. So writing an interface is similar to writing the class, and when a class describes the attributes and behaviors on objects. Okay, so you got more things like an interface similar to a class in some of the things, like a number of methods contain any number of methods. .java extension should be there, and .class file is the one bytecode, and bytecode will store. So everything is same like a Java program. Now let's have a discussion. A and B are two integers. It differs by 4. It differs by 4. So A minus B is equal to 4. The sum of their reciprocals is 1 by 2. So 1 by A plus 1 by B is equal to 1 by 2. Solving these two equations, you are able to get your answer. So let's see the explanation. Sorry. So like this is the one. So A minus B is equal to, like you got 4. Okay, and 1 by A plus 1 by B, the sum of their reciprocals is 1 by 2. And here is the explanation. Here is the explanation. So A minus B is equal to 4, and 1 by A plus 1 by B is equal to 1 by 2. So solving this one, you got A minus B equal to 4, and you will be getting this one. So substituting 3 in 4, 2. So 3 in 2. You will be getting 1 by A plus 1 by B is equal to 1 by 2. Solving it, you will be getting the answer as B is equal to root of 8. Since we are getting one value B is equal to root of 8, which is not an integer, the answer is none of this. Oh, the answer is none. The answer is none of this. By selling an umbrella for rupees 30, a shopkeeper gains 20%. 20%, maybe like 6 rupees, maybe 6 rupees. During a clearance sale, the shopkeeper allows a discount of 10% of the marked price. His gain during the sale season is what? Okay, so what could be the gain? So it's 10%, allows a discount of 10%. Let's see like how we can work it out. So profit, look, this is a formulation. The selling price is 30, 20%, the profit percent 20%. So cost price is equal to 100 divided by 100 plus profit percentage, so you got 25 rupees. So the cost price of this one is 25 rupees and he sold it for 30 rupees. So 20% gain he got. That's good. Okay. So during the clearance scale, like a selling price of an umbrella is a selling price is equal to 30 into 90 divided by 100. So because 90%, you got 27 rupees. He sold it for 27 rupees. So the cost price is 25 rupees and he sold it for 27 rupees. So obviously the profit is 2. The profit percentage is 2 divided by cost price at 100. You got 8% profit. The answer is 8. Walking at the rate of 4 km per hour, a man covered a certain distance in 2 hours and 30 minutes. Running at a speed of 17.5 km per hour, the man covers the same distance in how many minutes? That's the question. Let's see the answer. So, walking at the rate of 4 km per hour, like this guy got 2 hours and 30 minutes. So, speed is equal to 4 km and distance is time taken is equal to 2.5 hours, right? 2 plus 30, so it's 5 by 2, it's 2.5. So distance is equal to speed into time. You got 4 into 2.5, it's 10 km. 10 km per hour. And over here I got a 17.5 km speed. Distance divided by, so 10 divided by 17.5, you got the answer as 34 minutes. The present age of husband and wife is 28 and 24. 28 and 24. At that age, twin babies were born to them. After how many years the average of the family will be the same before babies were born? Okay, 28 plus 24 divided by 2 is the average of the parents. At what age the child is born? So congrats. So at what age once again the average of the family will become once again 26? That's the question. Let's see like how we can solve this problem. So average of these two people, so 28 plus 24 divided by 2, you got the average age as 26. So 28 plus x is the age, plus 24 plus x, years, number of years, plus 2x, because age of the child, see, like that is a child born to me, like it got 4 years age, considering it's born for my wife and for me and for my wife. Okay, after how many years? After 13 years, my age will be increased by 13, my wife's age will be increased by 13, my child will be 13 years old. So x and x, so x plus x plus x plus x is 4x. So 52, like average, like 52 plus 4x divided by 4, solving it you got the answer 13. So 28 plus 13, 24 plus 13, 13 and 13 will have the average age once again of 26. You may ask me a question like what kind of company we are. I'm conducting lots and lots of in-plant training and internship for the students, and this is my company Kashu Infotech and WikiTechie. Here is the contact number for degree studying people, degree completed people, for freshers and experience. We are providing lots and lots of training, and also we are conducting lots and lots of courses. You can contact me at any time. I'm the trainer. I'm ready to help you on this. So here is the question, what is autoboxing and unboxing? So autoboxing in the sense converting a primitive data into a wrapper class, and from wrapper class to primitive data is unboxing. Here is the one. So here is the definitions, everything. You are able to see in x is equal to 5, the 5, so integer, I'm creating an object, I'm trying to wrap it. They called it as autoboxing. It's of two types, passed as a parameter to a method that expects an object to the corresponding wrapper class, assigned to a variable of the corresponding wrapper class. And here is the example class, boxing example 1. So you got int a is equal to 50. I'm trying to box it. So a is the variable, boxing it with the integer. And this is another kind of boxing. Directly I'm trying to assign it. This is also a kind of boxing. And here is the sample program. I got the class autoboxing. Now I got public static void main. So int a equal to 50, integer a equal to a2. I'm trying to boxing it. I'm trying to boxing it once again. So while running this program, you are able to see I'm trying to compile the program Java C autoboxing .java, that's the program name. While trying to execute this one, so it's compiled. Now I'm going to run the program once again. While trying to execute this program, automatically you are able to see the output is 50 and 5. It is 50 and 5. Now let's talk about the unboxing. See, I got the variable here, integer a of 15. Now from the a, I'm trying to extract that value. So converting into a wrapper is boxing and reverting back is unboxing. So I'm trying to unbox the variable. Here is the program. So integer I is equal to new integer of 50. Now I'm trying to remove it and putting in this int variable. I'm trying to declare it. That's unboxing. I got the class. Here is the main function. And got my integer I is equal to new integer of 50. So this 50, I'm trying to make it out. I'm trying to print it. Hey, here is the output you'll get. So Java C, I'm trying to execute the program. To compile the program, now I'm going to run this program now. Yeah, here is the output. Now here is the advantage of autoboxing and unboxing. It lets the developer write cleaner code, making it easier to read. And the technique lets you to primitive types and wrapper class objects interchangeable. So here's the picture. Now let's talk about what is the structure of Java program. So here is the one. The Java program will have the documentation section, package section, import section, class section, variables, methods. There is any comments and multi comments. Here is the structure of Java programming. You got the document section and everything. You are able to see it here. The package statement and everything is here. And here is the one. Package statement, import and everything is here. And afterwards, after package, you got the class and main functions, and you got the methods and everything. Now what is IP address? So IP address is nothing but for every computer you got a number identified. They called it as IP address. So here is the one for IP address. So considering I got my computer and it's connected to the internet. Okay, your computer will have a private IP address and your network will have a public IP address. Over here I got the LAN network, multiple computers with a specific IP addresses here. And the IP address is of 5 different types. They call it as class A, class B, class C, class D and class E. Class D for multicasting and class E for reserved. A for network ID and these are all host ID. And this is your network ID and these are all host ID. This is your network ID and this is your host ID. So they call it as class A, B, C and D. And here is the one. So I'm going to a command prompt. I'm writing the command ipconfig. You are able to see the IP address. So I got the ipconfig here. So while executing this one, you're able to see the IP address. So it's IPv6 as a future address and IPv4 this is the reason, this is our current address, and subnet mask with the default gateway, the router number. And here is the definition of IP address. To uniquely identify a computer in a network, they will be using IP address. Now let's talk about the web service. What is a web service? Web service is nothing but the exposed method of your owner and you will be accessing it. So considering like I got authentication for cricket. So I'm trying to store all the IPL crickets and all these cricket records. Like I got the license for recording the videos in the stadium. Okay, so I'll be loading all those data in Cricket for some website. So considering a person is there, they will contact me. Hey, I want to put all the scores and everything in my website. Can you give it for rent? Yes, I'm the guy, I'm an authenticated guy, will have the scores and everything. I'll give license to that guy. So that, hey, use these methods to access all these scores and everything. They will use the method, automatically the score will be displayed. So here is a typical example. So National Weather Service. So the government will take care of checking out all the weather information. In Chennai, what is the weather? In Delhi, what is the weather? In Mumbai, what is the weather? So automatically, like I'm the guy, I'll be using these web services. I'm able to access all the details. Instead of going and fetching it, instead of going and checking out the weather informations by manually, someone have done it, access it. So they call it as web service. So web service is a client-server application or application component for communication over the network. Okay, so here is the web service. This web service will be accessing via XML. Okay, so your share market prices, your dollar rates, your temperature, weather informations, everything is exposed by the companies as web services. And what are the OSI layers available? What is this OSI layer? It's an open system interconnect. So what is this open system interconnect? Open system interconnect is nothing but between two computers the data is traversing. There is some logics routine between these two computers, they called as protocols. Okay, using the protocols the data is communicated between the client and the server, and this is done via the OSI layers. Okay, the protocol is designed based on a standard called OSI model. Okay, here is the one. It got 7 layers, and this is the layers, and here is the one. The first layer is physical layer, to which you are able to see the connectors, cables, computers, everything is physical layer. In this layer the data is navigated as zeros and ones. Okay, they call it as physical layer. Followed by the data link layer, the computers will be accessing via the switch. They call it as data link layers. And the numbers which is stored in this data link layer, they call it as media access control. It's a MAC number. And beyond this data link layer, automatically the data is passed via the router to the entire world. Okay, and they call it as like a network layer. In this layer you got the IP addresses. Okay, over here you got the MAC addresses, and in this layer you got the IP addresses. You're able to see the computer navigation is happening. So here is the router. To this router it's connected from the internet. Okay, the router configuration, routing the data, it's your network layer. And here is the transport layer. The communications is happening via the wireless and maybe a wired network. So it's a transmission TCP, IP or UDP, and everything is happening via this transport layer. That data will be packetized and it will be transferred as a packets of data. And here is the session layer. In this session layer, like to Venkat, I need to give this one. To this person, X person, I want to give the inbox. To Venkat, I want to give the sent item. To Arun, I need to give the maybe a login page. So giving that giving appropriate pages to that particular user, they call it as session layer. See, a typical example is like Venkat. I'm the person, like I want to access my inbox. I click my inbox. Yes, Venkat's inbox is sent. I click my sent item. My Gmail is giving my sent item. How it's maintained is maintained based on these session values, and it is declared in this session layer. The next one is presentation layer, converting or making into an encrypted formats. See, actually in your Facebook, I've uploaded a JPG file of 10 KB or 10 MB. While downloading it becomes a 10 KB. So automatically the size is changed, the name of the file is changed, but the quality is not differed. Okay, so there is a change happening in this layer. They call it as how we are presenting to the people. They call it as presentation layer. And finally, the people accessing an application, they call it as application layer. For example, your gmail.com. Okay, that's how the 7 layers is integrated into a simple framework called OSI model. You may ask me a question like, yes, sir, I want all these Mindtree interview questions, where I can get it. Here is the URL. You are able to access all my Mindtree interview questions and answers. And here is my Facebook page, Kashu Venkat. There are thousands of videos. As usual, subscribe to our channel and you are able to get all the informations. Now let's go talk about what is a RAID. It's a written array of inexpensive disk. Thambi, the CD essentially, you got CDs right. Okay, it's a written array of inexpensive disk. Okay, so let's talk about RAID disks. So RAID is a technology to connect multiple secondary storage devices. You're able to see a magnetic device disk. It's an optical disk, hard disk, and flash drives and magnetic tapes. So for this disk, how it is arranged. So the concept is, if I ever keep it here itself. So the concept is like, this is how. It's written an array of inexpensive disk. You got lots of disk here. This is called a RAID disk. Okay. So over here, RAID disk is of different thing. You got, this is the concept. So two things are there. So I got this one, so keep it here and keep it here. There is another one, keep it here, and there is another one, keep it here. Okay, this is called write 0, it's called a striping. The major problem is like if one disk gone, that's it, you can't access it. So that's why like a write 0 is got a lot of drawbacks. That's why like they come up with, so this is your write 0. This is your write 0. You got your write 0, like this is how it will be. So I got my A disk, I got my A, I got my next one, I got this one here, I got this one here, I got this one here, I got this one here. This is how the disk will be. The data is broken down into blocks. Over here in RAID 1 it's different. It's different. Over here they got the same disk, same data, they will duplicate it. Same data. The same data, it's duplicated here. This is RAID 1. Okay. So same data is duplicated. If there is one guy gone, there is another guy to help you. But the major drawback is like it's complex once again. The reason is like very simple. I need to write the same data in two different places. Okay, that's the biggest problem. That's why it's a mirroring and duplexing model, and you're able to see your RAID 1 here. It's a kind of a mirroring technique they followed. That's your RAID 1 method. It's a fault tolerant, and data is copied on more than one disk. Okay, here is the one. This is how it's 100% redundancy, but positive is. Okay, that's why like they went for a RAID 2 disk. They got a kind of like you are able to see it here, a error correction code using Hamming distance. You are able to see some parity disk available. So a parity disk available for P1, you got a parity disk. For P2, you got a parity disk. So this is how it will be. This is the one. Each data bit in a word is recorded on a separate disk. Yes. Okay. And that is the error code for this one. This is your RAID 2. Okay. And they went for another concept called, see, every disk for this one you got a parity here. For this one you got parity here. For this one you got a parity. Like how can I do it? So that's why like they come up with a concept called a common parity here. For all the disks, common parity. Okay, because that one is costly. That's your RAID level 3. So stripes the data onto multiple disks. They call it as RAID 3. Okay, so you got the data here. The data here. Now I got a parity generator, and it's a common one. A common generator for everyone. So parity A for this guy and parity for this guy. Now let's move on to the next one called a RAID 4. So here is very simple, like a kind of your RAID 1 and the same thing it's happened. RAID 4 is similar. The main difference is the way of sharing data. An entire block of data is written onto data disk, and then the parity is generated and stored on a different disk. Okay, the entire data is written. So simultaneous writing of data, it happened there. A block of writing is happening here. That's the difference between RAID 3 and RAID 4. And here is RAID 5, a striping with parity. You're able to see here. So the parity is distributed in multiple disks. That's how your striping with the parity is happening in RAID 5. Okay, so this is how the RAID 5 parity will be. Okay, because the reason is like if the parity disk is gone, you can't access it in the previous one. That's why like they distribute the parity in multiple disks. So here is the one, it's a RAID 5. And here is the definition for this one. You are able to see it here. The parity is distributed here. So they come up with the next level called RAID level 6. The multiple parities in multiple disks. You are able to say P1, P2 here, P3, P4 here, P5, P6. So the parity is distributed once again. So it's a RAID level 6 they introduced. And here is the one of RAID level 6. Okay. And here is the one RAID level 10. Oops. So you got a RAID 0 technique of putting it here, one duplicate here, one duplicate here, here duplicate here, here duplicate here. It's a RAID 10. 0, 1, a reverse process will be 0, 1. That's how the type of 0, 1 is here once again. So the reverse process is 0, 1. Okay, so that's your write 0 1 technique. Okay, so make it as write 0 and afterwards make it as 1. Okay, now let's move on to the next question, is the degenerative dimension. What is this? So fetching the data from the dimensional table, they call it as a degenerative dimension. See, actually, like in data mining or data analytics, there are two types of tables available. The one is called the fact table, the other one is called a dimensional table. So considering the customer ID, customer address and phone number, it's called fact. How much customer bought, that's dimension. Okay, so degenerative dimensions are also called as fact dimensions. It's constructed from the attributed columns and it's sometimes stored in a fact table to reduce duplications. Okay, it can be stored in the like a fact table also. Okay, so that's how your definition is. The average temperature in Delhi for the first 4 days of the month is 58, and the average of second, third and fourth, fifth is like 60 degree. The ratio of first and fifth is 7:8. What is the temperature of the first day? That's the question. Now let's see the answer. Okay, so a plus b plus c plus d divided by 4 is equal to 58. B plus c plus d plus e divided by 4 is equal to 60. Okay, and here is the 1. Okay, so here is equation 1, equation 2. So I got my subtracting 1 from 2, you got e minus a is equal to 8. So a is to 8 is 7:8. So 8x minus 7x is equal to 8. Okay, so obviously x is equal to 8. So temperature of a is 56. That's the answer. What is the difference between application context and a BeanFactory? So application construct, it extends the BeanFactory. Let's see. So here is the difference between these two. Check it out. Here's the one. It's lazy initialization and it's eager initialization. So it's when you call get beans method, it's created. So it is object is created its own. So explicitly provide a resource object using syntax and it creates and manages resource objects. It doesn't support internationalization. So multi-language supports and it supports this one. Dependency injection is not supported, over it's supported. Now what is the difference between the local and global variable? Let's see like what is local variable and what is global variable. So my company Cashew Infotech is providing lots of training for the people. So if you are job searching or if you're looking for a job or something like that, you can contact me at any time. I'm ready to guide you at any time. Like I'm the trainer, here is the contact number and here is the course structure. You can contact me at any time. Here is a simple piece of code I've written. A global variable class. So previously in the video itself I explained the things. Int val is equal to 10. And that's a global variable is declared before the main function. I create an object variable, call the function method with the 5 as the value. Int val equal to 5, it's passed, but I change the value as 20, local variable, printing it, I got the variable. And this dot val, this keyword is used to print the global variable. So don't use the local variable, go with the global variable. So that's how I'm trying to run the program. So while executing it, you are able to say 20 is the one, the local variable is printed, and 10 is the one, that's the global variable is printed. This is how your local and global variable. So beyond the scope, it's inside a function, outside any function. Written within the function, its scope is throughout this program. Accessed only by the methods, entire program. Life is function block is created. So between the function, the life will be. Entire program, the life will be. Storage, it will be stored in stack unless specified. So it's disabled by the compiler. What is Gregorian calendar class? So it's a combination of a Julian and Gregorian. So it's a concrete surplus of calendars. Hybrid calendar that supports Julian and Gregorian. It specifies the leap year every 4 years, whereas the Gregorian calendar, Julian specifies every 4 years. It omits the century years, which are not divisible by 400. That's your Gregorian calendar, and here is the Gregorian calendar class. So I'm trying to run this program. You're able to see it here. I'm trying to run the Gregorian calendar program. So I'm trying to enter the year 2016, month, day, Yes, I am trying to execute it. So, the input is given. Here is the one. This is how we will be running the program. So, what is the difference between the white box, black box and grey box testing? See, I don't know the functionality. If I give 10, it should give 100. So, what is the functionality? I don't know, sir. So, that is your black box testing, zero knowledge. Give the input, whether you are checking its output is coming or not. Now, the next one is white box testing, full knowledge. 10, if you get it, process it, what processing is done. Learn the code, understand the code, check whether the code is working properly or not, get me the output. That's white box testing. A combination of black box, intermediate person of black box and white box, they call it as grey box with some knowledge, zero, some and full knowledge. Here is the one, the internal programming not known, partially known, fully known. Internal workings not required to be known, internal working of applications unknown, the full knowledge known. Functional testing is a translucent testing and structure and code based testing. And the end users and also by testers and everyone can perform this one. End users and also by testers and developers will be doing it, and testers and developers will be, end users can't do this one because they don't know the coding. It's least time, partly time and most exhaustive. Not suited to algorithm testing, not suited, and this is suited for algorithm testing. And here is the picture. The next one is, what are the three levels of data abstraction and which layer is at the user end? That's the question. So, physical level, the logical level and the view level. There are three levels available, and view level is the one which is at the user end. Let's see the things. So, physical level, it will tell how the data is actually stored. Logical level will tell what data is stored in the database, and the view level is like it describes the user interaction, how the user should interact. So, these are the three levels of abstraction. What is the difference between IPv6 and v4? Here it's 128 bits and it's a 4 bits. It's a 4 bytes. Okay, let's see. It's 32 bits and 128 bits. It supports manual DHCP, auto and renumbering address. Unachievable, this is achievable. The end-to-end connection integrity is unachievable, it's achievable. So 4.29 into 109 address space can be generated, 3.4 into 1038 address space can be generated. Security features dependent, the IPsec is inbuilt security feature. This is of decimal value, this is hexadecimal value, that's the difference. The fragmentation is performed by the sender and forwarding routers. Over here, it is performed by the sender. So flow identification is not available, and here it's available. Checksum field is available, it's not available here. It has broadcast message transmission, it got multicast and anycast message transmission is happening. Encryption and authentication facility not provided, and it is provided here. That's the difference. And here is the one, I'm going to my command prompt, I'm typing the command ipconfig. You're able to see the number which on top, that is called IPv6, and here is the IPv4. Every computer will have IPv6 and IPv4. So predominantly now they are using IPv4. Now let's talk about what is debugging. So debugging is over here I got my debugging here. So here is a breakpoint I put it, I'm trying to debug it. You are able to see step-by-step execution of your program, they call it as debugging. You're able to see every time I'm trying to debug the code, checking out if there is any error occurs. Okay, they call it as debugging. Okay, so step-by-step execution and verifying whether there is any bugs available and to find in which line the error occurs, they call it as debugging. List of the areas in which data structures are applied extensively. So here is the areas, the data structure is extensively applied: compiler design, operating system, DBMS, graphics, simulation, numerical analysis and artificial intelligence. What does a runtime errors mean? I am trying to give a program, you are able to see 10 divided by 0 is throwing an exception. It's a divide by 0 exception. This is called, they call it as compile time error. I changed as a j value, did 10 divided by j is 0, but don't know. Now I'm trying to run this one, now it's trying to run it, this is called as a runtime error. So while writing the code, automatically the program will understand, they call it as compile time error, and while running it, it is binding. Now only it will understand like there is a problem. They called it as a runtime error. Now the problem is not there, it's compiled, I'm trying to run it. While running it only, it comes to know like, hey, it's 0 man, 10 divided by 0, it's a runtime error. That's why that's called as runtime error. So here is the definitions of runtime error. Okay, check it out. Okay, so clashes between terminate and stay resident programs, memory issues, poor programming, other software problem, aging and damaged hardware, and computer viruses adware. These are all, like they call it as runtime errors. As it, our company Kashyap Infotech, we are providing lots of training for the degree studying people, completed people, job seekers, freshers and experienced people. You can contact us anytime, and here is the course contents we are providing. You can contact me at any time, and here is the numbers. We are ready to help you at any time. I am the trainer sitting next to you to train you, and here is my channel. Just subscribe to the channel, and if you're looking for any more videos, you can watch these videos on any time. And thanks for watching this video, and there are thousands of videos with us. Thanks for watching. This is Venkat signing out to create a new world. I'm working on it. Stay with me. Thank you.